Even if you aren't into philosophy, you've probably heard of Thomas Hobbes. You probably learned about him in high school world history, and you may remember him as the big government evil guy, which is obviously a bit of a mischaracterization. You were probably more a fan of John Locke, who seemed like the freedom guy. Plus, he didn't look as mean. Now, if you dig in slightly more to learn about Thomas Hobbes, you may think that he believes that human nature is evil, and you probably came across his famous quote, "The life of man, solitary, poor, nasty, brutish, and short." And yeah, that's a real quote, but what's the context of that quote? What does Hobbes actually think about human nature? And most importantly, why is Hobbes from Calvin and Hobbes named after him? So obviously the book we're using by Thomas Hobbes is Leviathan, specifically this modernized edition from Hackett. I mean, Hobbes did write other stuff, but, you know, no one seems to care. In chapter 13, Hobbes is talking about man in this state of nature. Now, the state of nature is a pretty popular destination within philosophy, especially with political philosophers like Robert Nozick. Essentially, this state of nature has no government or order or any sort of organization. Think caveman times. It's in the state of nature where we can best observe what humanity is actually like, free from any influences that come as a result of society. Hobbes claims that in this state, humans are fairly equal in many respects. The difference between people is not so considerable as that one man can claim to himself any benefit that another may also claim. Now look, whenever a discussion of human nature arises, many skeptics will point to the vast diversity of humanity as a way to ignore the question. And I'm even one of those people. I mean, how can you have a grand theory of all humanity when each of us is so individually different? Well, to play devil's advocate against myself, Hobbes is looking at diversity within the state of nature. In today's society, we have all these different human inventions which let us express our individuality. And yep, I'm sure social critics and anti-capitalists are writing out long paragraphs about how it's all fake diversity and individuality in our market economy, but it at least seems like we're more unique and different, which is what's playing with my mind. Therefore, I can't really judge what Hobbes is claiming very well because I don't know what diversity really looks like in a state of nature. And I'm pretty sure he doesn't think the Flintstones counts, which, to be fair, isn't the state of nature because they have a society. Regardless, take it or leave it, Hobbes thinks people are pretty equal and less diverse in the state of nature. But this equality then leads to conflict. From equality of ability arises equality of hope in attaining our ends. Therefore, if any two men desire the same thing that they cannot both enjoy, they become enemies, and in the way to their end, endeavor to destroy or subdue one another. So you're in this state of nature as a caveman, and you see some fruit, but there's another caveman just across from you. Because you're not dealing with an army of cavemen or a government, but just one seemingly equal caveman, you're gonna think you could take the other in order to get the fruit. But conflict is not limited to our fight for resources. Hobbes is able to identify three main areas of conflict that exist in the state of nature. First, competition. Second, diffidence. Third, glory. The first makes men invade for gain, the second for safety, and the third for reputation. Now this second cause of safety is really big here, cause even if you have it all, if you notice some outsider just chilling a couple yards away from you, you're gonna get kinda suspicious. It's like you're playing Minecraft and you build your house and everything, but over yonder is a creeper. He's pretty far away and probably won't bother you, but in the back of your mind you'll always feel that need to kill him in order to feel truly safe. So it's almost like you're in a constant state of anxiety and conflict. Okay, so that's a very general gist of Hobbes' thoughts on humans and the state of nature. And while you may have objections, he anticipates them. He says, look, you may not agree with my theory, but look at the way you act in practice. You lock your doors in your car, you avoid dangerous areas of your city, you don't post your credit card information on social media. You take steps to protect yourself and your belongings against other humans. And this is in a society with laws and government and police. Imagine what steps you'd have to take in a world without that stuff. Alright, so that's Hobbes' kind of backup defense. Comment below if you disagree with his theory, and if so, how would you respond to his more practical defense? Now I want to end on a point that's both important, but also not important. I know that sounds paradoxical. It's important if you want to win internet arguments, but not really important in the practical sense. Essentially, it might be a mischaracterization to say that Hobbes thinks human nature is evil. This is why. To this war of every man against every man, this also is consequent that nothing can be unjust. The notions of right and wrong, justice and injustice have no place. Where there is no common power, there is no law. Where no law, no injustice. I mean, I think for Hobbes and the rest of us in our society-biased minds, it's evil. But for those humans in that state of nature, it isn't evil or unjust because there's no law. But I mean, practically speaking, I think we can all agree that killing some random stranger out of fear that they'll get to you first is pretty evil. Now obviously, Hobbes gives a fix or natural answer to this state of nature. But because this isn't a political philosophy channel, I'll leave it at that. I just wanted to explore Hobbes' argument on human nature because it can make a practical difference in how you view others, depending on whether you agree or disagree with it. But comment below, oh wait, I forgot. Hobbes is named after Thomas Hobbes not because of any character similarities, but as a shout out to the political science department at Bill Watterson's college. Okay, now comment below your thoughts, subscribe, like the video, and I wish you all a beautiful rest of your day.